Hey, decency. Let's put a smile on that face. Heath Ledger famously locked himself away in a London hotel room for over a month to engineer the Joker. He didn't just learn lines, he entirely dismantled his own personal psychology. For the next 7 days, I'm isolating myself in this space to see if a normal mind can actually replicate cinema's most dangerous villain from the ground up. I'm not just throwing on cheap face paint, I'm reprogramming my physical posture, showing my vocal rhythm, and testing my psychological boundaries. To understand how it works, we have to start the exact foundation that broke my voice on day one. Alright, so day one was low-key kind of a mess. Looking at the footage, I look like I'm forcing it. I get it because I was, but bear with me because by the later days, it'll be worth it. Trust me. Completely destroyed how a standard sentence is supposed to structurally sound. He actually took his structural inspiration from 1970s punk rock icons, speaking up his words until they blur entirely, and then just stopping dead in his tracks. Get a pacing right. You have to ignore commas and breeze right past periods. The hardest part is the sudden pitch shifts. You shoot your voice up to a frantic high whine and randomly drop into a deep, grateful throat growl right in the middle of a syllable. It forces your speech to sound completely untrackable to a listener. Introduce a little anarchy. Upset the established order. Like that, while sitting normally at a desk makes you look like an amateur reading a script. To make a movie audience actually feel uncomfortable, you have to change how your lungs manipulate air, which brought me to day two. A Joker's laugh is the easiest, most recognizable trick, but it's physically painful to replicate over multiple takes, forcing your vocal cords to vibrate while actually suffocating your lungs feels totally unnatural to your body. By hour 6 of day 2, my chest was physically aching, and my throat felt like it was lined with sandpaper. If you don't hit the exact exterior resonance point, you just look like you're having a medical emergency. Not a voice and the laugh were starting to sound volatile, but the physical silhouette was still completely wrong. Even like a normal person, the voice was describing. To fix that, day 3 required me to completely unhinge my spine. Director Christopher Nolan noted in early production meetings that Ledger's physical posture was completely self-generated. He spent days studying the loose, gravity-defying movements of old ventriloquist dummies. He wanted the character to look like his limbs were completely unhinged from his skeleton. I had to break my natural walking stride completely. Physical acting profiles compared his movement to a hyena tracking prey. You gotta deliberately sway your torso side to side while dragging your heels. Walking like that forces your head forward, which completely alters your facial line of sight. But looking unhinged physically is nothing compared to mastering how the character commands a room when he isn't moving. That led directly to day 4. A major mistake amateur actors make when playing villains is moving too much. Paced with their hands, try to look aggressive. But if you watch the iconic interrogation scene with Batman, Ledger does the opposite. When he sits down, his torso is completely still, but his head tilts like an animal studying a puzzle. To pull this off, I had to train my body to eliminate all comfort reflexes. No scratching, no dusting your clothes, no blinking. The tension comes from stillness. You have to make the audience feel like you are a coiled spring ready to snap at any second. But forcing your body to stay that perfectly still causes strange side effects. Your eyes become the only thing moving in the room. And by day 5, that concentration broke me completely. I don't think this is working. When you isolate yourself to practice these mechanics for hours a day, fatigue completely just takes over. As everything that ticks, force some lip smacking, completely losing rhythm. I to day 5, I hit a massive creative wall. I generally died by deleting the footage and calling off the video. The second I stopped trying to control it, it finally started looking real. I stopped trying to act perfect and let the real exhaust take over my body. I stopped performing the Joker, it started becoming like him. The famous lip smacking habit wasn't even a script. The fake silicone scars kept peeling off Ledger's face under the hot studio lights. He kept licking his lips to keep the glue down, so unsettling he looked and turned into a weapon. Because of exhaustion from day 5, I had to fake the muscle memory anymore. The pleasure just took over. I started looking at your own reflection and you started tracking the empty corners of the room. Now that the physical tics were happening on my permission, I had to introduce the final psychological test. Normal people flinch when something goes wrong. The Joker smiles. To finish this transformation, I had to train my nervous system to absolutely love pain. You're good at something? Never do it for free. When you spend 7 days straight in isolation, staring at a camera lens, talking to yourself in an empty room, the line between practice and reality gets blurry. Your throat stays permanently dry, your back naturally slouches, and your eyes look tired. Everything is in place. There are no more adjustments left to make. This is the final performance. Is it 7 dangerous lines? I don't see notice anymore. Or is he fragile citizens wearing masks of civilization, waiting for a simple push to destroy their fake decency? Let's put a smile on that face.